Right on next.
I don't know what you're talking
Okay.
A little plant holder thingy.
about.
But it
Oh,
was
Like,
all I,
right here.
all I hear him is I hear him walking away, mother, and I'm just hysterical. I'm like, short, hold on.
I guess you kind of had to be there.
Yeah, it was funny, whether you're there or not. Oh man, it's nice weather.
All right. So let's talk about. Well, let's start with talking about your family a little bit. You know.
Sure.
Like, what? Just tell me. How about you tell me the story about how you met your wife?
We were both going to computer class,
Uh-huh.
and
So it start off with the way I met my wife was.
okay.
If you can like spin it into a question.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. The way I met my wife was I don't know what year it was. 8 years from now, I guess, from back, and we were both going to a computer course, and see, before she came into the course, I was friends with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend and me, we became good friends, and then his girlfriend, which is now my wife, came into the school, and she started taking the course, and it was funny because like she loves to say this, but like when I first saw her, I was like, wow, she's beautiful. I liked her a lot. So basically, like she introduced me to her friend, and I wasn't interested in her friend, but I used her just to hang out with her. So because her friend liked me, I was like, yeah. So I hung out with her, and then like her and her boyfriend broke up, and like I was still friends with him and her, and I'm the type of guy I don't want to like I wasn't like barging into both of their lives, but I was friends with both of them still. So then at one point, me and her just like started to connect, and that's it.
So you guys started. So you were friends first. Obviously.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend was like her only boyfriend that was like a high school love. So she really never had a guy that treated her different, because that was her high school love. They were together for like 10, 15 years, and it was just like a regular, 10-year relationship that just like was, I guess, boring after a while. She never like me. I've partied, I've hung out with different girls. I was a wild one, and she's the, she came in as a decent one, very good girl.
You romanced her a little, right?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man.
Like, how did you romance her?
Wine and dine, my man, you know what I'm saying? No, I brought her out, went out to dinner and, stuff like that. And then, just like helped her move. She got an apartment. And then just little by little, going to the movies, going out to dinner, getting more social with each other. And that was it.
Yeah, that's good. So how did you propose to her? Did you do the whole on one knee?
Yeah, I got on one knee. I was all scared and like nervous and shaking. I didn't know what to do, bro. I just got on one knee and you want to marry me? That's it. I don't know. But well, of course, man. But I lived with her for a year because to me, okay, like you guys could be in a relationship forever, and you can know everything about each other. But the way I look at it is you gotta be with each other at least some time to really know each other. Because, that's why a lot of people get divorced or whatever else has it. Because I think, they jump into it too quick. So I was like, listen, I want to live with you for a year to really know you, Because, there could be a lot of, as you're romancing the whole time, you're different when you're home. You're a different person, So, but it worked out great. I mean, she was perfect. She was great girl, and let's put it this way, she's a very, very good girl, and she's a very good mom. She's a fantastic mom. She's really great with my daughter, and I was the one who was like the wild one, from back to my high school days to LPA to everything else out there.
So what do you mean you were wild?
I don't know, it's crazy, I just did a lot of wild stuff, and
Yeah, like what though? Like what's wild?
a lot of one-night standers, a lot of, just, I don't know. I can't really explain the LPA world because that world's wacky. It's a great world. Don't get me wrong, but it's like there's a lot of jealousy. It's a lot of political bull. It's LPA is fantastic in its way of being a little person and joining it. You know what I'm saying? Because I joined when I was like 28. That's another thing. I didn't know anything about LPA till later on in life. And I remember first going to my first regional. Not one person talked to me. A regional is like a weekend gathering, and like not one person talked to me. And my mother pushed me to go, so I went there and I was like, yo, man, nobody talked to me. Nothing. I sat there by myself. I'm like, yo, this is corny. So I went home, and the lady was like, oh, come back later for the banquet, which is a dance. So I was like, I went home. My mom's like, how do you like it? I'm like, no, Mom, I ain't going. I'm going out tonight with my friends, you know. She's like, no, I want you to go back. I'll go with you. I'm like, whatever. So she like pushed me to go back. And then that night, you know, hung out, disappeared, my mother would say. She didn't see me after the first dance. Some girl comes over and goes, would you dance with me? And then that was it. So it was like, it's very cliquey. It's very weird. You know, it's a great organization. Like I said, don't get me wrong. And, you know, I'm kind of glad that my daughter is going to be like, like joining it. Like she's in it now, so she's young. So it's good for her to get the best of both worlds, which I got the best of both worlds. I love growing up being with average people and not being stuck in that world. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I look at it, I see people that are in LPA, and it's like the convention, which is a 1-year thing. People that I know, girls that I know, it's like they go insane if you ain't going. It's like they're lively, you know. It's like their life once a year, you know. It's like they do their whole entire, you know. They work hard and struggle and do everything they got to do, go out and buy clothes, and that 1 week is like their life.
Well, are a lot of people that go to the LPA, do they have no other little people in their lives, and this is their one chance to associate with people that can identify with them? Or is it a lot of people have brothers and sisters? I mean, what are the statistics usually on that? You say you grew up mainly around average-sized people, but is that the common or the...
I would say it's, I don't know, guys, help me out. What is it? I mean, Tara knows, Zach knows. You guys lived in LPA.
Yeah, just like the LPA stats, like people that go to the LPA convention.
I think now it's more, I remember when I was in it, man, it was like a lot of people were just like really looking forward to the conventions, the regionals, and it was just like, you know, easy, man, you know.
Basically just for the parties, meeting
Partying, and
people.
a lot of people go to hook up.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I mean,
That's
if
basically
you're
all
like,
That's where I met about the one night standards. You're in and out.
Hey, what's up? Bye.
But a lot of them want relationships.
long-term relationships with
You
other
know?
people that are just their height.
That could be, it could be even out of country relationships.
And you know what? I've been with a lot of LPs, and I did have a couple of girls that I did like. I got to admit, but it's just, I wasn't ready, and they were ready, and they got PO'd, and then later on in life, you know, I met my wife. You know, and I know a lot of guys like they just like still have like a vendetta against me. It's just, I don't know. LPA is just very. You know what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know if you've seen much of the roll-off show, but there was one episode where Matt brought his son, who's still in high school, to the LPA conference, and he was really pushing him to meet girls. And it seemed like, you know, come on, this is the big chance, you know. And this kid's like, whatever, 16, you know. And so it seemed like there was that pressure.
Yeah, you know, and it was just like.
That seems like kind of one of the main shows.
Everybody's parents are different. My mom's like, when you're 30, you can, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But right now, I don't want you looking at any of these guys.
Right.
It's just the parents, like,
Right.
not just in the average world as well, you know, like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some people want their kids to like hook up young, and some people
Right.
later.
Right.
And then a lot of the moms don't know that their daughters are pretty bad out there.
Right.
But seriously, I mean, I basically, don't get me wrong, LPA is awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's a great organization, and it's like in every other thing, you know, it's always good to have something like that for, you know, I think my daughter it would be great for my daughter. You know, it's gonna be good for my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna push her. I'm not gonna like throw her on that dance floor. I'll be like, you want to go to this stuff? You know, you don't want to go. You do want to go? It's up to you, babe. You know.
So talk about your daughter. Like, tell me the story of were you guys planning on having a child, and when she was born? Maybe take me through the whole.
Okay, my daughter. I love her with all my heart. She is like my life. Okay, well, basically, of course, we were both, you know. Of course, you know, everybody always thinks about a child, you know. It's common. So, but it did happen accidentally, you know. Weren't really ready for it, you know. But it was my time. I mean, you know, I don't say my age, but I'm getting up there, you know. I'm getting up that ladder, man. So, you know, like we had a good chance. Like Tara would tell you better because she knows. We had a better chance of having a good higher percentage of having an average sized child due to my wife is average and I'm little. But it wound up being the baby's little, you know. Because nobody else in my family is little except for me. So, you know, of course she's little and, what's it called?
So is that how it is? I'll ask Tara too, but does the female carry the gene?
It's 50-50 with him.
No, they said different.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe my doctors didn't know compared to LP doctors.
Your dwarfism is different than mine.
Yeah.
But if I were to have you know, let's say we had a kid,
yeah.
you and I, and your average stature,
yeah.
it would be 50-50.
Okay.
So it could be different with other dwarfs.
But I was a different dwarf than you.
Yeah,
that's what they said. That's the SED was more of the common was going to be average. So because of the dwarfism I am, which is I don't know what the hell the word means, but it's SED. It's a long word. What's the word?
Pseudo something dysplasia.
There you go.
You know what? I asked him that exact same thing. It's your own dwarfism. You should know this.
That's how involved I am.
She just care about rock and roll.
That's it, man. Rock and roll and party now. But
well, maybe let's talk about that a little bit about your type of dwarfism. You don't have to say the whole name, but just maybe explain your type of dwarfism and its kind of signature elements versus.
I don't know a lot about it.
Okay. Okay.
I know.
Well, just the limb. Limb size.
Oh yeah. Obviously I have.
Start with saying I have SED.
I am SED. I have SED. She'll tell you what the meaning is later. I have long arms, long legs, small torso. You know, my friend says I look like a spider. Little Mikey, he always says that. But no, it's we have fun. I like to have fun with LPs. You know, everybody. Some people get too serious. You know, you gotta have fun with it, man. Okay. Besides that, so you know, when I joined LPA and I saw my kind of dwarfism, I saw a lot of people that were my kind, but they were short. Do you guys know why?
SEDs have the largest range in height. Like some of them are like 5 foot, some of them are like 3 foot.
Yeah, that's what I saw. A lot of them, little guys. Yeah. So I mean, but it was different. It was different.
But all of them have basically the exact same characteristics that he does. Like the really short torso, his hands are just as big as yours.
Right.
Whereas
exactly.
I have really short hands. And his legs are a lot longer than mine. Head's very proportionate to his body.
Right.
We're all whacked in our own way. But
okay. So talk to me about your love affair with music. So tell me, like, what's your first song you can remember? Your first record you bought? You know, when you started playing? Just take me through, you know, your affair with music.
I would definitely say that I have to admit, definitely grew up loving rock and roll. My mother, I don't remember, but my mother told me that my father, like, I liked music, and first he bought me a guitar. I wasn't into it, and then, you know, I said I want a drum set. So they bought me a drum set, and my father was like, it's just a phase. He'll go in and out, you know, because the drums is the loudest thing, you know. My mother was like, I don't want that in this house, you know, like a little Mickey Mouse stinky thing, but. Years later, man, I kept to it, you know, like, I would say probably one of my first albums, man, it would definitely have to be something, definitely Kiss. Kiss was one of my first loves. Judas Priest, I loved Judas Priest, and Zeppelin. I was into Zeppelin back then. And then, you know, later on, like, a lot of more metal came out, but, that was pretty much because I love the style of the drums to all those guys. And then,
now, was your mom freaking out? Like those Judas Priest album covers are like pretty
British Steel
wild,
and all that.
especially
Yeah.
back, you know, and that when they first came out.
No, they were cool, man. My parents really didn't bother me about that. They weren't, you know. The best part is I wasn't into the drugs and everything that supposedly every metalhead was into. You know, while my friends were out smoking pot, I was home, my headphones blasted and playing every single day. And I became pretty popular in my town. I mean, I've been in a lot of bands when I was young, you know, as a teenager and stuff. I was in a lot of bands, and, you know, I just, I was always into it, you know. Definitely.
All right. Hey, I gotta keep my eye on the time. We're gonna come scoop you guys up. Okay, we're good. So tell me. So you started playing a lot of bands. So take me through that. Like, what was like some of the first bands you were in, and did you guys have, like, what was the band that you sent me a picture of a band that you were in?
Yeah, the Trial, the band that I was in called Trial. Yeah. You saw obviously the picture had the '80s look, you know. Back then,
I mean, were you guys like, man, this is the best band ever? We're gonna get a record contract. We're gonna make it big. Did you guys say?
No, we didn't go that far. It's, you know, it's like I didn't think, you know, we weren't playing originals. We were just doing copies, you know. Tell you the truth, the name of that band before we were Trial, we were called Death Messiah. And our first gig was at a church. So we had to change the name pretty quick. I'll never forget. It's like, you know, like a feast, you know, like a weekend feast at a church. And, you know, we played like 4 songs over and over. We were horrible. You know, we only knew 4 songs back then, you know. But we just kept playing the 4 songs over and over. So, but that's like one of my first bands. And then later on, I just, you know, got into more bands. But you know what? Back then, it was more of the pretty boy look, the 80s glamour. There was no way I knew I was ever going to make it. Nobody would ever take me serious as a drummer. I just knew it. Because it was just a generation of the music with my age just wasn't going to pan together, you know? So then, you know, later on, you know, reality came in. I had to work for a living. Little by little, I just started to work, sold all my stuff, little by little, just got rid of my whole drum set. I mean, I had like huge Van Halen, you know, drum set with toms all over and cymbals hanging from my ceiling, and it was huge, man. It was huge, and just got rid of everything and just called it quits, you know. And then one of my other bands later on said that they needed a backup one time. I was like 20 something. They were like, "Yo, can you play for us? We need a backup for a couple songs at a show we were doing." So I was like, "Yeah, sure," you know. It's like riding a bike. I got right back into it, you know. And then, tell you the truth, later on when I was in LPA, I saw a thing on the Little People listserv. I always wanted to put a Little People band together. I saw this guy Wilbur one time, and I was like, wow, I was blown away. And I remember I saw Tara too, and I was just like amazed by her singing, you know. And I said to myself, I mean, I saw Wilbur way back before that, but I said, I'd love to have a Little People band, you know. So basically, I kind of hooked up with these guys from Jersey, and I told them, you know, I want to form a Little People band, and they were like, "Yo, cool, we were into doing that, you know," because I played at a show in Jersey, and that's where these guys were from, and they were like managers, but they were horrible. So they were like, "All right, you know, try to get some guys together." I was like, "All right." So I put it on the Little People listserv, and so did they. So we went down, and there was auditions. It was me, this girl Michaela, Mike Gilden. Who else was down there? I don't know who else. I think that was it. And I got the part, and they asked me to get some more people. And I really wanted Michaela in, but they were like, you know, I don't know why they said to bring a girl, and after that they didn't want a girl. And I'm like, they were like, we want to be hardcore. But, you know, 'cause she was great at piano, you know. She was really awesome at the keyboards. And I was like, yo, man, you know, whatever. So then we got these other guys together. Brought them into the band, and I got this guy Scott, and he brought this guy Paul in, and then this guy Jimmy, and we all, you know, we became the Little Kings. But in that band, there was like, I don't know if you ever heard this, but it was like too many chiefs and no Indians, you know? Too many bosses. So I was like, yo, later with this, you know? Not that I want to be a boss, but it's like, you know, I think everybody should blend and be a part. If you're a part of something, everybody should have a say into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like even with this band that I put together, because when I was with the Kings, I was like, I had played around with this MINIKISS thing in New York, and I was doing it as a Halloween goof, and it blew up, man. I mean, the guy who owned the club, it was in the city, and he was like, Joey, I'm getting calls like crazy for you guys, you know? Next thing I know, we're playing all over the place, you know? And, but it took me such a long time, and I'm still not even, like, totally, I don't know, not the word satisfied, but not really completely done, I guess. I really want to go further. I mean, just sign with Universal, how far can you get? To me, it's the dream, man. I mean, here I am in my teens, you know, couldn't go anywhere. You know, now I'm signing with Universal. I mean, you know, I wish I was in my teens still, but then again, I might be dead. I'll be partying too much, you know, but because now I'm like past that stage. Yeah, I like to drink a little bit, have a couple drinks, but you know, I don't party with anything else.
Right.
But so I think it was like good time. I think it was everything is meant to be. I always say, you know, I think everything is always meant to be. So basically,
How did the Universal deal come together? Like what did you? It was just sending audition tapes in, or your management kept pushing it, or?
We did a show where me and my my manager, like she hooked up with me, and she's like, "Could I like, you know, represent you and you know bring you out there?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I don't care, you know, whatever." So at that point, I didn't care, you know. So she brought me out. You know, we did a couple more clubs because she knew a couple more people, and then the guys who were called the Berman Brothers, they saw a flyer for us that we were playing at a club in the city, and they were like, "Yo, you know," I guess the one guy was like, "I gotta check this out," you know. So we came down there, and you know, we played, and he loved it. He just came downstairs after the show and said, "I love this, man," you know. So I was like, "Cool," you know. So then, like, little by little, we were going further and further. I mean, we started to play, you know, everywhere from New York to LA. It just started to grow and grow and grow. So basically, half of my band members had like regular 9-to-5ers with a family, and you know, I did have a meeting with them. You know, listen, you know, you guys, I'm going further. You know, you guys want to stick with me, it's cool. If not, I understand. You know, a couple of them, you know, went their way, which was very understandable. You know, we're still very, very good friends, me and all those guys. You know, it was, you know, it was cool. And then I don't know what made me do it, man. I think I was just like, I went to a bunch of Kiss concerts, and I said, "Yo, guys," because I had a bunch of guys in my band, you know, Little People guys, and I auditioned them, like you said, like you asked. I auditioned a couple. They sent me tapes, this and that and the other, and I got some bad freaking, you know, morons and whatever have you in this band. You know, I went to 20-something members. You know, and so singers wise, let me tell you, man, every singer I had, just to me, just got to the, just they all got the hugest head. And I was just like, "Yo, later with you," you know what I'm saying? I understand where they're coming from. They are doing a lot of the, you know, a lot of participating a lot into the band, and I understand that, you know. But I'm treating you fine. I'm treating you well. I'm taking care of you. You know, I'm doing whatever you want. You know, whether people don't like it or do say Joey's pretty cool, you know. I never, you know, I always tell everybody, you know, you're doing your part and you deserve what you get. And I always treat them as fair as I can. You know, it really stinks for me because I'm a, you know, I play instruments, guitar, bass, and drums, and I can't even perform right now, you know. And I mean, we do have an original coming out that I did every instrument on it, which is really great to me. It's the love. But when we're out there performing, you know, it's the only one who's really playing is a singer. And to me, it's like, don't get me wrong, I think it's fantastic. But I don't know. My dream is to have the band be real. You know, as real as it can get. And, but after a while, I had these guys, and they were just a mess. They were horrible. So one day I got this girl, and I told my management, I was like, "Yo, guys," I was telling the Burmans, I was telling the manager, I was telling everybody. They were like, "No way, it's never going to work. No, no, no." I was like, "Let's just try it," you know? I was like, I just got this feeling. So I got this girl that wanted to try out. I got her in, and she was very, very good. But she was nuts. I ain't saying names, but she was just a little crazy, that when I kind of had to let her go, she was like I had a father calling me, please let my daughter back. She'll sign an agreement. She was a heavy partier, and I just, it was like, you're doing 2 or 3 shows in a row, okay? The first show you do good, the second show you do good, third show you get loaded, wasted. I don't care what you do. You know what I'm saying? But after the first show, you can't be getting loaded, because the next day you have a performance to do at another show, and if you go there and, people are paying good money for you, and, excuse my language, you suck. People, it's a waste of the management. We look horrible, and the people that came to pay good money to see you. Because she was just like, I was made for, horror. Long story, man. It was just like, so then I just kept on auditioning, and then perfect timing, because I remember I just couldn't take it anymore. I told my manager, listen, cancel shows, I'm done. And she's like, no, you can't. I said, no, we are. I'm done with this one. I had it. So then, for some reason, I was looking for her for a while. I called Tara a while ago, and she said, nah. First she said yes, but then she said no, because of her boyfriend. But I thought it was her saying no, because I thought personally, she was like, I ain't wearing makeup and going out there or whatever, because typical LPs get insane, quote, they get all like, you look like a freak show, whatever. But, so she said no at first, and I understood that. So, and then perfect timing, where I talked to a friend, a mutual friend of ours, and she had said, no, Tara's back in Texas. I'm like, for real? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. It's like, call her up. She's like, all right. Sent me a tape, and bam, she was in like that. So, and how long you been in here for? About almost a year?
Year and a half.
Damn. Whoa, okay, my bad.
February of last year is when I joined. George Lopez show was the first.
Oh, yeah.
Right after Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Goes fast, man. Wow. But she is like the biggest piece to the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? She's like my prize. And she doesn't have a big head. She does a lot for the band. She participates. She helps. She does everything that I need. That we used to have the manager come. Now we don't even need the manager anymore, because we all participate, and we all help each other out. And that's the kind of band I wanted. I wanted everybody to be, to be like a family. Everybody be mutual, like everybody, you got something to say, bring it out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. That's just the way I feel. I mean, I don't.
Can you talk about how MINIKISS is going to change, like the future of MINIKISS?
I can't predict the future, but I'm hoping we're a very huge success. Basically, like I said, we've been very successful here.
The Bermans were actually the people that were the ones that proposed it to Universal, right?
Yes.
I think he basically wanted to hear that.
Yeah. Can you talk about like what
the Bermans
what
proposed?
you
Okay.
do now?
Our single.
Like from now that you're signed with
Right.
Universal, what the Berman,
Well, with the Bermans, it ended up being like really, really cool, because they're basically based out of Germany, but they also work in the U.S. But they did a lot of, they produced a lot of music for people in Germany, and Europe, the U.K., the whole 9 yards out there. So basically, they saw something in us that they really liked. I guess it was the whole Little People / MINIKISS / first ever. We're unique. We're very visual. That's what they liked about us, and we were awesome on stage. I mean, we were just. I think we played so good to, my real boys, which is Kiss, and they wanted to bring us further. So, just like my manager, I was like, yeah, sure, yeah. Next thing I know, they had offers from BMI, they had offers from I think it was Capitol, and then Universal came in. The minute Universal came in, they were like, grab that one, because that was Universal's the biggest. So Universal was like, we're like, wow, this is awesome. So from there, it's also going. Now we're going to Europe, because basically Europe is dying to see us. They've been like hitting us like crazy, like they just want to see what the hell this is all about. What's the hype about, and they also love the whole concept of what we are about, and you know how it is over there. I mean, they love all this wild stuff. It's different. It's unique, like I just said, you know. And right now, music-wise, what's really out there? You know, I think personally, rock and roll is coming back, but like, what's really out there? Rap, you know, and hip hop and gangsta. And, I don't know. There's really not a lot of rock and roll, you know. So I think basically it's cool because I think we're bringing back rock and roll, and then now we're getting to the part where we want to do our own music, because I've been writing all my life too. I just, like I said, I'm very creative. I love writing. I love instruments. I just love doing it all. And I wrote this really cool song, and Tara hit it too, and then the Burmans loved it, and they said Universal loved it. So now we're gonna go there in Europe in about, I'd say probably August, and that's it. Hopefully everything just blows up, man. We're just, you know, praying.
And what are you gonna do are you gonna do your main MINIKISS set that you normally do here in the States and Europe? Is gonna be the same kind of deal?
It's basically we're debating. There's a big debate going on about this. We are, I mean, it's already known anyway. We are mini rockers as far as Europe. So we're gonna be known as mini rockers. I bought the name for over there, and that's what we are gonna be over there, because don't want to use the MINIKISS over there. So I'm gonna keep MINIKISS here with another band and bring mini rockers over there. But over there, we're gonna do originals. We're gonna just, like, you know, there's a lot of big opportunities going on for us right now over there. You know, there's not a lot I want to say because I don't know if it's gonna really pan out.
Right.
But in the sense, it's really looking fantastic.
I mean, the makeup and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely gonna do the makeup, but we're debating on some other little inside tricks, under the sleeve kind of deals going on. You know.
Everything would be more original.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tara just hit it. We want to go on that original part now. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm just climbing that ladder, man. You know, and I just hope I get to the top.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I'm basically doing this for the love of music, the love of rock and roll, and for my family to just, you know, I just want to be a success. And I think what I'm doing so far is, I think, fun. I mean, everybody that's been in this band has had good times.
Mm-hmm.
We ever had some good times in this band.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Let me just, because I don't want to tie you guys up. Let's just check the time here. I want to ask you one more thing. Yeah, we're okay, I guess. Let me just ask you about your extended family. You know, like, could you just give me a little taste of, like, the, you know, you've got a big Italian, Irish family. You know, maybe talk about, like, that kind of stuff, like growing up. You know, what it was like, siblings and all that kind of stuff.
Well, growing up with my family has been like, they just treated me as me. You know, if I asked somebody to go get me a box of cereal up on the cabinet, they said, no, you go do it. And I kind of think that was cool that they did that, because I learned how to do things on my own. You know, like, you know, of course there was things where they had to help me with, but, you know, there was things where, you know, you could go do it. You know, grab a chair, grab a broomstick, whatever you got to do, man. Get that cereal down. I did it. Clock me in the head or whatever, but I did it, you know. And I remember, like, even like I made pizza for a living. I was a cook, and I remember going to pizza stores, you know, trying out, you know. They'd be like, no, we just, you know, we don't need pizza man. And it would say, you know, help wanted, pizza man, you know. So I'd be like, all right, listen, can I deliver for you? Sure, deliver. So when I would deliver, I would also help in the kitchen little by little. I'd squeeze my way in there. And they just, you know, they saw I was, you know, good at what I did. So next thing I know, you know, I managed a couple of pizza stores and restaurants and stuff. So I did pretty good for myself, you know. But this is my love. So I just stopped all that. But as far as my family, like I said, my family's cool. My family's down to earth. You know, you got the Italian, you got the Irish, you got the partiers, you know. My family, I love my family. You know, everybody gets along great. Everybody, you know, it's a really tight family. We got a very tight family. And like I said, they never treated me different. You know, and in a way, I'm kind of glad I wasn't treated different. Because I know a couple of LPs that I've seen later on that, you know, I don't know, they're kind of spoiled, you know. That's what I've seen. I don't know, because I guess their parents treated them like, oh, my little son. Don't get me wrong, I love my daughter. I killed for her, but in the other sense, I'm gonna tell her, I'm gonna tell her it's gonna be a tough world out there, and you gotta conquer it your way. And I think being yourself is the best way to do it. And that's why, like, in a way, that's why I'm kind of glad I didn't grow up in LPA. No offense to it, but I've seen a lot of people that grew up into that life, and like I said, a lot of people depend on that life. And I'm total opposite. I grew up in the average world and then came into the little people world, so I had the best of both. And I think, I think I've done pretty good.
Now, there's something you told us on the phone once where you feel like, maybe you could just retell the story where sometimes when people are like looking at your daughter, you and your wife is really protective. And
oh snap, that's bad. Yeah, my wife is just on the level still right now that me and my mom are trying to tell her, you gotta calm down, hon, because my wife, she was with me, and I remember even one time me and her were at a bar, and there was a guy who was like watching us. Who was like right over there, like where he is. Me and my wife were like having a couple of drinks. I went to the bathroom. I come back. This guy's all over her. I don't know if he thought I was just a friend. I think because he probably thought because I was little, what is she doing with him? That's the way I looked at it. Come on, I said, "Can I help you, guy?" I mean, the way I looked at it was, he was probably thinking, she ain't with him. She's probably out for a drink with him, Because I think sometimes people just think that, because I'm not saying my wife is beautiful. I'm not saying, she's ugly, but she's decent looking, where I think that's what I think this guy basically had in his mind. Because I was watching him. The minute I walk away, it was all over, and I was like, yo, bro, and that's the way I looked at it, But right now right now my daughter is 4, so she's going to school, and people are seeing the difference. And people are like, my wife takes her out to the store or school or whatever. Kids stare and laugh and do whatever the hell they've always done to all of us. And my wife gets PO'd, and I'm like, hon, you can't do that. I'm like, she's starting to see like, wow, it's starting to affect her, and she can't let that affect her, because then the baby is gonna be like, mommy, mommy, mommy. Help me, protect me. No. You got to make her strong. I said, it's going to be hard, but you got to make her like that movie Ray, The guy was getting blind, and the mom was like, I'm going to teach you 3 times how to walk. You do it on your own. Same thing, My wife is like very protective when it comes to people staring and looking and laughing or whatever. Because she even did it with me back in the day. I was like, hon, don't worry, man. I'm used to this crap, Don't let it bother you, So, and now, like I said, she's getting to that. She's finally realizing, but it's still, I see it. It still gets her PO'd, and I tell her, just don't worry about it, I mean, personally, we all went through it. And there was days where, you probably wake up couple times and you're not in the mood that day, There'll be days I wake up, I'll be out in the streets and somebody will make fun of me. I'm just not in the mood that day. And I'll say something very negative back at you. But then there's days where it's like, whatever, bro, that's the way I look at it, because every day, no matter if you're fat, small, tall, whatever, man, somebody's always going to say something about you, So, I mean, but then again, I think it's personality, too. If you're, like I said, growing up with my friends, they always said they never looked at me as a little person. They just always looked at me as Joey, because, it's also your personality, like people are. The first thing out of their mouth is radios and this and that, the other. What could I call you? Well, what's my name? Joey. Well, you call me Joey. Well, they'll be like, no, what's the right term? Little person. I hate the M word, and the whole 9 yards. Everybody's got their own, perspective on that word and all the other words out there that you call us. But, that's the way I look at it, So.
All right. That's good. You're a good interview, actually.
Thanks, man. I tell it like it is.
Yeah, I tell it like it is. It's that New York in you.
Well, like I said, man, I had the best of both worlds. LP and average, and the LP girls were insane, and the average girls were wild, and both of them blended good. LP was crazy. When I joined, man, like later on in LP, I was like, damn, It was like, you know how it is. It's like girls were crazy, man.
To new men, like if a new man comes in,
Oh my
and
God.
he's like college age or whatever, there'll be like 20 girls swarming on him, being like, "Hi, what's your name? I'm Jessica."
Okay.